In this election, we each face a question. What kind of country do we want to live in? There are some people who think we should be a country of chaos, of fear, of hate. But us, we choose something different. We choose freedom. Freedom, freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose. Yeah. Freedom, freedom, where are you? 'Cause I need freedom too. The freedom not just to get by, but get ahead. The freedom to be safe from gun violence. The freedom to make decisions about your own body. We choose a future where no child lives in poverty, where we can all afford health care, where no one is above the law. We believe in the promise of America, and we're ready to fight for it. Because when we fight, we win. So join us. Go to KamalaHarris.com and let's get to work. I'ma keep on running because the winner don't quit on themselves.
Hi. Hey.
What's up? What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled. This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars. On Hot 7025fm.com.
What's going on, everybody? It's your main man, 360, the poet from the Morning Wood, and I'm here to talk to you about the Sci-Fi Center. It's your Vegas home for science fiction, horror, and fantasy. From comic books, toys, and posters to movie screenings and live events, they've got you covered. Located at 900 Cameron Avenue, Suite B209, give them a call, 702-900-4335, or reach them at thescifcenter.com.
Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on Hot 7025fm.com.
It's your main man, 360, the poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale. A time was had up there in Washington, D.C. in the DMV area. But Tennessee State went up there and we showed up and showed out. What I mean by that is we showed up in droves. But again, the Howard alum in the community of D.C. was so warm and so welcoming. I can't wait till next year when they go meet us down in Nashville, because I'm going to be there for that one too, for our homecoming where we return the favor and invite them into town to play us. So I hope they show up the same way we showed up in D.C., because I want to be able for the Tennessee State Tigers to show them the same love that the Howard Bison showed us while we were up there in the DMV. So big ups, hats off to the Howard Bison, all the people that were up there. Big ups to all the people from Tennessee State, TTTSSSU, that went up there to good old Howard and showed up in everywhere you look. It was nothing but royal blue, white, and red. That's all you saw, man. It was so amazing. It was an amazing sight to see. And then again, like the Howard alum was like, man, y'all travel like Notre Dame or like Alabama or like them other schools. And they wasn't ready for that. They really weren't. But again, they were welcoming to all of us coming into town. So we had a couple people people online trying to hate a little bit earlier today, talking about, oh, y'all was juking on U Street and all this other kind of stuff. But I looked at it as more as a sign, a showing of nothing but black excellence and love all in one place at one time. So we both have illustrious alumni. We both have, excellent programs, whether it be athletic, academic, or what have you. But it was a chance for all of us to come together in a time of peace and understanding and show some love, HBCU style. So that's what we did. But now we got that out the way, all those disclaimers. You back on the number one online advice column. We're going to dive straight into this letter. It reads, Dear Holla at the Homie, I'm writing because I could really use some advice about relationships/friendships, romantic and otherwise. Lately, I've been noticing a pattern where I give a lot of myself, my time, my energy, emotional support without getting much in return. It feels like I'm constantly overcompensating for the gaps that others leave. I end up being the one that always is checking in, making plans, bending over backwards to keep things going. Meanwhile, when it's time for people to meet me halfway, they're MIA. It's frustrating because I know I deserve more, but I struggle to stand firm on what I need. I want to meet people for where they meet me, instead of always trying to fill in the gaps for what feels like, quote unquote, friendship. I also don't want to feel guilty for asking for reciprocity or feel guilty for walking away from relationships that aren't currently serving me. Now, how do I stop overcompensating and start standing on my ground when it comes to what I need from others? And how do I do it without feeling like I'm being too harsh or pushing people away? I just want to protect my peace and make sure I'm not pouring from an empty cup while others are still full with no return to mine. Thanks in advance for any advice you can give. Sincerely, doing the most and getting the least. Oh, man. Man. What's going on, Jay's Goddess? 28. What's going on, Dakarai? Salute, Dakari Kofi in the building. Man, this is a question that's been going on for quite some time in a lot of different relationships, friendships, situationships, or what have you, where it feels a little lopsided, feels as if there's something going on that's not being reciprocated in regards to feelings and emotions. So a few of us, if not all of us, have experienced this in some way or another. So I'm appreciative of doing the most but getting the least for, first and foremost, writing this letter, taking out the time to, address us here at Hot 7025 and me at Holla at the Homie. And if you yourself have questions, don't be shy, man. Feel free to email me at I was about to say Hot 7025 at hollaatthehomie@gmail.com. That's HOLLAATTHAHOMIE@gmail.com. Or if you want to tune in right and tap in right now, call us 702-551-5261. For all my Facebook watchers, the phone number's right at the bottom of the screen right there for you, so you can tune in and tap in at any given time you want. 702-551-5261, and I'll get you plugged into the matrix so my Instagram folks can hear at least what your question is, right? So again, what's good, fam? Welcome to another episode, and I appreciate, again, all of y'all that tune in with me, because y'all could be anywhere else in the world right now, but you're right here with me, you dig? So I just want to let you know that we keep it real about relationships and everything in between here, right? So our writer today calls themselves doing the most and getting the least. Now, with that, they said that they've been giving their all in relationships and friendships, whether it be romantic. What'd you say, Kim Wilson Clark? Oh, hello there, Will. Look at you. So proud of you. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate you as always, Kimmy. So it's like they're talking about they've been giving their all in relationships, friendships, romantic situations, whatever. And they feel like they're always the one holding things together. Right? So some of us have felt like that before. A few of us are maybe be feeling like that right now in situations or relationships, right? But the thing about it is they're frustrated because while they know they deserve better, they're struggling to stand firm on what they need. A lot of us do that. A lot of us are afraid to put our foot down, especially when it comes to those that we love and care about. Because what happens is we're afraid of pushing them away, or, being felt as if you're trying to ostracize them, or trying to put yourself in a position to where where you're untouchable. These are the things we feel on the inside, Now, they don't want to feel guilty for asking, for reciprocity, or they don't want to feel guilty for walking away from situations that don't serve them. Friendships that don't serve them or anything that doesn't serve them in regards to this other person. They're trying to protect their peace, and they're trying to stop from pouring from an empty cup. All right, so that's the breakdown on what we got. Somebody who calls themselves doing the most and getting the least. They're trying to figure out how not to feel bad for asking for reciprocity in their relationship. They're trying to not to feel bad about walking away if it doesn't serve them, and they're trying to protect their peace and not pour from an empty cup. Because how much can we fill people up if our cup is empty? People will continue they'll turn it upside down. Pour all the way out. Pause. That looked weird on the screen. But they'll try to pour all of that out and get all that sand out. They'll turn into sand, air, dust, all that, right? But they'll try to get more out of you while their cup is filled to the brim. And you see it look like it's about to pour over, hoping to get some of that sweat off the side. If anybody ever seen the movie Dune, it's like that. People be like Dune, holding all that water in for themselves and not letting any of it out for anybody else. What's going on, S-Dog 9400? You know what I mean? So it's like you look at them and their cup is full because you filled it up. And your cup is now empty and you don't have anything to pour out, not only to them, but for yourself when you need it. You say, what's that say, Kim Wilson? Once my husband passed away in March 2024, so although we were divorced, we finally are good and still loved each other. I'm still mourning, however, thankful God allowed me to have that closure that you needed. Exactly. Sometimes it comes with all relationships need for things to be able for you to have something, a reservoir to pour out of. A reservoir, and my condolences on your loss too on Kim Wilson Clark. What'd you say, Lucy Lowe? Sometimes you just outgrow people. The hardest part is realizing it yourself. Pay attention to how you feel when you leave other people's presence. That I'm big on energy exchange. Sterling Armstrong, what up, dog? What's up with you, pimpin'? I'm real big on energy exchange, right? That's a good point, Lucy Lowe. I'm real big on energy exchange, right? Because if I'm going to give you all this, it's like battery, like giving people a jump start. If you're giving somebody a jump on their car, you need both the polar poles to be touched at the same time so you can have some juice in you to give, and they also have to be connected in the same way. So that energy exchange must have a similar connection. So let's start with that. If the connection is off, then you can't exchange the energy that you want with these people anyway. So that's what you like Lucy Lowe said, pay attention to how you feel when you leave other people's presence. Do you feel off balance? Do you feel like you've been drained once you've left their presence? Right? So these are questions that you must ask yourself. So I'm talking to doing the most. Let me say this. You're not wrong for feeling how you feel. And it's ambiguous. It didn't say male or female, my writer. I love when it's ambiguous because it's coming from a perspective of humanity and not gender related, right? You're not wrong for feeling how you feel. You're at a crossroads that a lot of us are either at, have been to, or are approaching right now. And it's when you're just giving, you're giving. But the people around you, they just sit there and take it in, like basking in your sun, basking in your rays of energy, right? And they don't step up and give back. I'm going to give you some straight up advice. Now, it may come off to you as, it may hit you in the guts, but I'm going to tell you right there, I'm going to tell you what you need to do the most. Stop overcompensating. What'd you say, Lucy Lowe? Also, notice if people really check in with you. Some people only call and never ask you about you. Let me tell you a little something about that, right? If I'm talking to you on the phone and I sit there and let you pour your heart out to me, and I'm responding, I'm giving you I'm letting you know that I am tuned in to what your either grievance is, to what your excitement is, because it don't always have to be about the heavy stuff. Everybody don't handle heavy stuff the same way. But even when you're talking to me about the things you are excited about, and I'm tuned in to your excitement, if I turn around to give you a praise report and you tuned out, or you looking in your phone, or if you listening to something in the background, we on the phone, now I'm feeling disrespected. I'm feeling slighted because I've given you the space to dump on me. This isn't pouring into me. This is dumping on me. So when I would need to dump some of that back on you, or to try to give you some of this off my shoulders, or want to share some of this with you, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, What's going on, Critty Kinchelo? If I want to give you something good, bad, or indifferent, then I want you to be able to say, like, okay, bet. Okay, I'm here with you too. Praise report. Let me give you your applause. Let me give you your roses. Or, damn, I'm here for you. I'm listening to you. I feel for you. I understand you. Give me something back that's coming from you headed to me. Would you say, Kim Wilson Clark? Yes, I can respect what you're saying. Exactly, and that's exactly it. Like, you got to be able to give a little to get a little. And if I'm just giving you everything that you need out of this relationship, friendlationship, situationship, if I'm giving you everything that you need out of this, and I'm not getting anything in return, then now I'm feeling depleted. Now my cup is empty in regards to you. You know? What's going on, JT? What's going on, girly? Sister in the building. But like, so if I'm pouring all the way into you, or I'm allowing you to dump on me, and you're not allowing that boomerang to come back around, then I'm playing by myself. Not playing with myself. I'm playing by myself. I'm in this game of our relationship by myself. And that's not a cool place to be. That's not a comfortable place to be. That's not a happy place to be. That's not a fulfilling place to be. So you're not wrong for feeling the way you feel, but my number one piece of advice to you is stop overcompensating. You said it yourself. You're overcompensating. You're out here playing the role of two people in these relationships, yours and theirs. You playing two roles. You playing two complete roles. Like, you trying to be you and you trying to be them in this relationship. How, Sway? How you going to do that? Why, Guan? How you going to be able to pull that off? You playing two different people in this relationship. Now you really depreciating all your energy because you're giving some of what their parts they're missing. You're overcompensating, filling in their blanks when you got your own that you got left over. So don't do that to yourself. So my first piece of advice to you would be, and again, I never tell you what to do. I'm just telling you what can be done. The one thing that can be done, would you say roles must be understood in a relationship? Exactly. The one thing that can be done is you stop overcompensating. Now, the thing is, people will let you keep doing it. That's my whole thing. They will let you continue to do it. What'd you say, Dakari Kofi? You say, just keep it simple. If you want to communicate with him or her, then call that person. If you want to meet up, then see if that person is available. Make every situation connect to your needs only until someone proves that you or she is worthy of more. And that's another way to approach it. Like, put it on your level. That way, you're in control of the outcome and what's what and how you feel about these things, right? You need to be able to put it on your level to where you're in control of it. And that's where the overcompensation stops, or at least minimizes and depreciates and kind of calms down a little bit. You pump your brakes. Basically, what I'm saying is when you pump your brakes on a situation that allows you the opportunity. What's going on, Sin City Tay? You allow yourself the opportunity to be able to kind of say, like, whoa, I don't like how this feels. I don't like what this is making me feel in this relationship. So now you're looking at it as if, you know what I mean? Like, what do I do? How do I handle this? How do I get back to a situation to where this feels balanced? The first step is stop overcompensating. If you're always the one making plans, like Dakari Kofi said, if you're always the one making plans and checking in or holding it down, why would you feel the need for you to step up more? What's going on, J Castile in the building? You know what I mean? Like, why would you feel like it's time for you to step up to the plate even more? Again, now you're playing dual roles. You know, you're being two-faced to yourself. How does that work? How does that work in your behavior? What'd you say, Kim Wilson Clark? You say too much. Two roles are too much. If you have to pour into each other, you have a balance. But when you lack and they have in your back, they lack, you have their back. Exactly. Whatever you lack, you got they back, and vice versa. That's a real ship. That's the real ship to keep afloat. Maybe, what'd you say, Christy Kinchelo? Maybe overcompensating one area and totally missing the mark where it's needed. Exactly. That's another way to look at it. What'd you say, Lucy Lowe? Really sit with yourself and see if you can care about this situation. You may be growing or searching for a tribe, but sticking with the familiarity. Ooh, man, listen. Man, I'm wearing the word family today just because I felt familial all weekend long. And these are situations that we sometimes go through with family. And you really looking for your tribe, like Lucy Lowe just said. Tribe and family ain't always the same thing. Remember that. Remember that. You know, so if you're the one overcompensating for things out here, first step first, it would behoove you to stop doing so. Now, I know it may sound hard, you know, especially if you've been the glue to this relationship for a while. A lot of times we don't want the relationship to fail or to fall because we know we've been the super glue that's been keeping these pieces of wood together. We know we the ones that have been holding this relationship up. And if we decide to separate, then the whole thing will fall apart. You know, it may sound like it's a hard thing to do, but here's the truth. When you stop doing everything, you'll quickly see who's really there for you. When you stop doing everything, you'll realize who's really there for you. You know, say not at all. Everyone in your tribe may not be in your family. That's true. I got some tribe members that ain't not share one drop of blood with me. One of them don't even share the same skin tone. What you said? Lulu Tally, what's up, my girl? Good to see you on here. You know, so that's the first thing. It may sound like it's a big pill to swallow. But once you stop doing everything, you will truly see who's there for you. You know, people who care and value you will notice the shift, and either they gonna step up or they gonna thank you. It's that W for me, for Will. Yeah, either they gonna step up or they gonna talk to you about it. When you stop doing everything, somebody will be like, hey, bro, what's up, man? I'm missing you. I'm missing you in this relationship, you know? But then you can talk about it. You can converse and decide on where we are. And the ones who don't, well, they'll show you exactly who they are. And that's good information to have as well. That's excellent information to have as well, because the quicker you find out who's not on your team is the quicker you can trade their ass to the masses. Trade them to the masses. I saw a meme earlier today, a GIF, a meme, whatever you want to call it. Earlier today, it was a church marquee. It says, "Don't get fixated on following the masses. Sometimes the M is silent." You know what I mean? So that means you following asses. So you can kick their butt to the curb. If they not there for you, then that helps you understand how to cut them from the team. So let's rewind a little bit. We're talking about trying to find a way to not pour from an empty cup in friend relationships, romantic or anything in between, right? In connections, in energy exchange. Would you say, Lulu Tally, I just decided to stop helping people so much? Hey, that's one way to do it too. Al Rich, what's up? Superman of the Car B is in the building. See you in a couple weeks, dog. You coming out this way. I already know. Salute, baby. Would you say, Christy Kinchelo, people have addiction? Let them go. That's another. People are addicted to you doing for them. That's it too. People think addiction is only deal with drugs. Love is a drug. Attention is a drug. Emotions are are endorphins, which are the results of being on drugs. So think about that. It's possible to be addicted to being around somebody, to somebody doing things for you. So if they've become an addict of your help, then you got to be able to cut them off. Whether you use the methadone method where you wean them off or you make them go cold turkey. Would you say I also started telling people that will no longer drain my energy? You can't. That's another thing, Lulu Tally. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about people draining your energy and not replenishing it. Now, I get it. Like, if you a person and I give you all my energy, you take it and you take it and you take it, and you be like, okay, thank you, bro. I appreciate you. But then you turn right back around and you jumper cable me when I need it. Then I don't mind giving you all my energy. I don't mind you draining me of my energy because I gave it from my heart. So, like, if you're going to give it back, I don't mind you draining it, you know? But the people that's not giving it back, I'm going to tell you straight up, I can't let you do that. Would you say, Kim Wilson Clark, wow, I'm learning. I've isolated myself for so long trying to get back out there. And that's understandable. That's understandable. It's okay to because sometimes isolation, when you in solitaire in your own mind, you find out exactly who you are because there's nobody else there to look at. There's nobody else there to deal with. When you put yourself in solitary confinement in your mind, to where you isolating yourself, but it's for a purpose. Don't just put yourself in a box and be like, this is where I'm at, this is where I belong. No, if you put yourself in time out, it's for a reason. It's for you to learn. Your parents, people's parents, we ain't get no time out. We got our asses whooped. But people's parents who put them in time out, they put them in time out hoping that they learn. You got the belt hoping that you would learn to not do that again, or hoping you would learn how to maneuver differently. So these people you have to put in time out hoping they will learn how to reciprocate the energy that you give them. That's one way of looking at it. Again, I never tell you what to do. I just give you ideas of what can be done. So my first idea or my first word of advice would be to stop overcompensating. Next, my second piece of advice would be just like we talked about the title of this show, meet people where they meet you. You be like, 360, what does that even mean? Somebody asked me, what does that even mean? What'd you say, Chris? Yes, they are addicted to you and always coming through, but they never giving back to you. You've been able to forget your whole life. No, it's time for you to stop giving so much of yourself and learn to live and let them live. Yes, ma'am. Janae Ty, you say, what did you say? I took the words out of your mouth. Solitude is needed sometimes to find out exactly who you are and what you can tolerate. Like, exactly. Can you tolerate being alone? That's another thing. Put yourself on mental solitary confinement to see if you can take it. Can you take it in the event that you're left in that position? Can you take it? Can you get that weight off your chest? That's a mental workout. But when we step into to advice point number 2, meeting people where they meet you, this is huge. You can't force somebody to give you more or be capable or willing to give you more. It's about these people's capacity to decide to recognize what's enough to give back or what they're going to give back to you. You have, some people are only going to give you 50%. Some might give you 30%. And listen, if that's not enough for you, then that's okay. If it is enough for you, then that's okay too. But if you to a point, you have to say right there, you got the right to say, look, this don't work for me. And then you got to move accordingly, though. Then you have to move accordingly. Once you say this not working, this situation is not working for me, then you have to be cognizant to step off, to keep it pushing, to move accordingly. If it's not working for you, step aside, move it away, get it out your direction. You don't have to be there. They don't have to be there in that capacity. Again, some of these people may be family and you can't get rid of them, but you can move accordingly. What do you say, Janae Tyler? You say reciprocity, but you can choose who you need to help build up and who matches you or who you let go. That's it. That's the whole point of the day. What'd you say, KK? I had to do that with my son. I had to meet him where he was with me, accepting his role in my life. I had to do the same thing with my son. I meet him where he meets me. People are grown and you got to understand, like, you can't continue to depreciate yourself hoping and wishing for somebody else to fill you back up, because some people don't have it in them to do. Some people don't have the want to do it in them. Would you say, how much time do you give them when moving on? What do you say? How much? The thing about it is you give yourself the amount of time that works for you. When that switch clicks on, be like, you know what? Enough is enough. Then that's when you decide to move accordingly. But that's based on how you feel about the movement. Sometimes you can't just get rid of them and say, oh, I'm, whatever. But you can move accordingly and allow them to operate in their own lane. And you know what I always say? When you're in your own lane, there's never a head-on collision. You'll never have a head-on collision when you're in your own lane. So moving accordingly is based off how you feel. It's based on how you get it. When it clicks in you, be like, you know what? That was it. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. You know what I mean? That's what those old proverbs mean, like the straw that broke the camel's back, meaning because a camel can carry a bunch, but one little straw, one little thing, one little point, one last nerve that somebody tap danced on was it, and you moved accordingly. So now you either got to buck you off or allow you to continue to stay on there and drag me down, or I got to turn around and look at you straight in your face and be like, I don't with you. You know, it does depend on who it may be. That's why I say move accordingly, KK. You got to move accordingly, according to who it is, to who they are in your life, to where you are in your life, and what position they hold in the determination of which way your life goes. You know, my thing is, don't ever lower your standards just to keep people in your life. Don't ever lower standards just to keep people in your life. A relationship, whether it's a friendship, a romantic, whether it's, you know, it should be mutual. You know what I mean? It should be mutual. That doesn't mean it's 50-50 all the time, but it should have a balance in the long run. It should average out to 50-50. Because even if you're going 100 and 100, and then sometimes somebody don't have any to give, then that's going to get you back to 50-50. You know, you give, they give. You support, they support. If it's all one-sided, you've got a situation, not a relationship. Think about that. If the relationship that you're calling it is one-sided, that's a situation. That's not a relationship, because you're not relating to each other to where you're balanced in there, or at least looking to be balanced. If it's always one-sided, you are in a situation. You're not in a relationship. That's right. Don't lower your standards to keep people in your life. I stand firm on that. Don't ever lower your standards to keep people in your life, because then you're not even being the person who you are. So now, like I used to tell, you know, people that superficial people really kind of get under my skin like tattooing. Because if you're pretending to be somebody that you think I like, or you think I might want to be around, then that's not who you are internally. Then when I find out who the other person is, I may like that person more, but the fact that you tried to be the other person, now it's ruined. So now, don't ever lower your standards to be in somebody's circle. Don't ever make yourself feel like less just to be around other people. You know, and that leads, what's going on, Tanisha +5, Mrs. Miller? You know what I'm saying? That mask, exactly. That mask, you put that mask on for people just to pretend to be who they think you want them to be. That's not, that don't work. That doesn't work in real life. You know? So my thing is, that leads straight into, you know, point number 3. You got to stand firm on your needs. You know, so once we've decided to stop overcompensating, that was advice point number 1. Then we decide to meet people where they meeting us at, right? Once we get there, then we got to stand firm on what it is that we need. We got to stand firm. And what I'm talking about is, in the letter, you know, you mentioned, what'd you say? In the letter, you mentioned you're struggling to ask for what you need, or you're feeling guilty about pushing people away. Listen. If you pushing people away by standing firm on letting them know what you need out of the relationship that y'all are supposed to be sharing, if you're asking for reciprocity in a relationship that you are in with somebody, you're not asking for too much. You're not doing too much. Just all you got to do is say, hey, I need support too. You're not pushing people away by setting boundaries. You're simply creating space for people to respect and honor you. Think about that. You're setting them up for a space to give you the respect that you know you deserve by simply stating it. If you're not comfortable with the way somebody's treating you or how you're feeling in a relationship, don't be afraid to say, hey, you know, let me raise my hand. I got something to say. The South got something to say. You know, and it doesn't have to be all like, it's not about barking at somebody. Again, I say it all the time. It's not about the message. It's about the delivery. And if you deliver this with sincerity, like this is from your heart, like, I don't really like the way this makes me feel. I'm not sure if you're aware that you're making me feel this way, but I'm going to stand firm on what it is I need. So you're not pushing people away by asking them to give you what you need. I'm telling you, you're simply creating a space for people to respect you and to honor you and your wishes. I mean, think about it. Think about this. If someone truly values you, right, you know, they're not going to be offended if you ask for mutual respect, if you ask for mutual time, if you ask for mutual effort, if they really value you, not if they like, oh, they tolerate you. If they value you, if they say they love you, if they say they truly care about you, they're not going to be offended if you ask them for the same thing you're giving them. You know, I can see if you were asking for something that you weren't even bringing to the table. There's something that you weren't even offering, you know? So they're going to do one or two things. If they value you, they're going to rise to the occasion. And if they don't, well, then they're showing you that they're not even willing to do the bare minimum. And like I said before, that's your cue to reevaluate if they deserve a seat at your table or not. That's where you put your Libra scale on. Since we in Libra season still, that's what you put your Libra scale on. Put something on this side. Put something on this side of the scale. And if it doesn't balance out, or at least be in a favorable position to where you comfortable with, then they don't even deserve a seat at your table. That's where you can reevaluate that. If they're not valuing you, then you shouldn't value their position in your life. Because that's yell into a hallway hoping to get somebody to respond to you. You yelling in a cave hoping to get a response. And it's only you. It's only you. You hear an echo. You don't hear anything from them. So do they deserve a spot at your table? That's a real question. If we gonna break bread together, do you deserve to be there? If you can't do the bare minimum, if they can't do the bare minimum and just reciprocate what you give them in this same relationship that you're sharing, then they don't even deserve a seat at your table, bruh. They don't deserve a seat at your table, sister. Homie, they, them, who, however you identify, however they identify, they don't deserve a seat at your table if they can't do the bare minimum. Because, again, we talked about it. If you stop overcompensating, if you meet people where they want to meet you and you stand firm on your needs, then that's where you see who belongs at your table, right? And inside of that, you get a chance to do point number 4. Protect your peace. You said that in your letter. You just trying to protect your peace, trying to make sure that you're not pouring from a cup that's empty or trying to pour from a cup that's empty. You know? If you're constantly pouring out and never being poured into, like I said earlier in the show, you're just going to be burnt out. You're going to start resenting people, you know, and you're going to lose yourself in the process. You are going to lose yourself in the process. And part of protecting your peace is learning when to say no and when to walk away. Man, like, we can learn to say no. We can say no, or we can muster up the strength to say no pretty much, you know, most of us anytime we really want it. But the hardest thing is after you say no is to walk away and stand on that no. Stand on it. Because if you continue to let yourself sit back on your laurels, then you're going to be right back in there, what I would call a trap. Would you say I recommend Protect Your Peace by Trent Shelton? Okay, there we go, JT. Appreciate you, my girl. My sister out there dropping some reading knowledge on y'all or songs knowledge on y'all. You know what I mean? She says she recommend Protect Your Peace by Trent Shelton. You know, that's the thing. You need to protect your peace. You know, walking away, don't look at walking away as like being harsh. I look at you walking away as you choosing yourself. And what's wrong with that? If you don't choose you, how do you expect anybody else to support you? How do you expect anybody else to be there for you? How do you expect anybody else to back you? My brother-in-law, Cece, you know, he told me one time, like, you know, he said, I can't have your 6 if you ain't got your 12. And that stuck with me. That stuck with me. That means people can't have your back if you don't have your front. You got to be on point with what you really need. That means protecting your peace. That means being able to walk away. That means being able to ask, you know, for things that you need out of you. Would you say, KK, choose you first? Yes, choose you first. It's okay. Because even on an airplane, think about it. On an airplane, they tell you in the instructions, put on your mask first before you start trying to help anybody else. Make sure you got the breath capacity to be able to get through this before you try to make sure anybody else is okay, because you're not 100% sure that they're going to do the same for you. So you have to choose you first in order for people to start choosing you as well. And that's protecting your peace, knowing when to walk away, knowing when to say, this is not okay, knowing when to stand firm on what you need out of a relationship and not budging from it. Protecting your peace is knowing when to stop overcompensating. You understand what I'm saying? These are things that are protecting your peace. Don't let anybody make you feel guilty for prioritizing your own well-being. Anybody that does that is a succubus. Anybody who does that is a vampire. Anybody who does that is an energy leech. Exactly. I can't help you if I'm not straight. We got to have boundaries out here. You right on point, KK. I can't help you if I'm not good. I can't. You know? Don't let anybody make you feel guilty for that. You got to say to yourself, I deserve to be in spaces where my energy is matched. You got to tell yourself that. Would you say, KK, I'd rather be alone or before I allow you to take my peace? I heard that. Wow. I can do bad by myself, by my damn self. They got songs about it. I can do bad by my damn self. So, you know, you have to be okay with telling yourself that I deserve to be in spaces where my energy is matched. I deserve it. I stand on it. I demand it. Would you say I have boundaries with my kids and my grandkids? Hold on now. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. You got to have that. You have to have boundaries with everybody in your life. That's what I'm saying. I was telling you, you're right about that. You got to have boundaries with everybody in your life, because those boundaries will save you from falling into the quicksand of trying to save them. Like I said before, you have to put on your mask first before you try to start helping anybody else. And in that, you have to be able to protect your own peace. You have to be able to stand on how you feel and how you need. You know what I mean? You deserve these things. Would you say you love you before anybody? And that's perfect. And that the only way you're going to be able to give out true unconditional love is if you're filled with the love of yourself, because you're giving you out. And if you don't have any you to go off of, if you don't have any real love for you to go off of, then you're giving out fake love. You're giving out faux love. You're giving out AI love. Appreciate you, Kim. You know, we deserve to be able to be in spaces where our energy is matched, and we should not forget that. Let's not lose sight of that. You know, to my writer, doing the most but getting the least, I'm hoping you're absorbing this, because these are real situations that a lot of us, if not all of us, have found ourselves in. We just may have not asked the questions of ourselves. You know? So to recap, we talked to an individual, again, I don't know, male, female, or anything in between, about, they wrote us a letter, and they were saying how they're trying to protect their peace, how they having trouble standing firm on what they need, and how they're overcompensating for the lack of energy matching, lack of energy exchange that they're receiving in multiple relationships, friendships, romantic and otherwise. And the blueprint we laid down today, you know, the blueprint we laid down today should be able to associate and be able to cover all those areas. Would you say, KK, I learned that grieving your big brother, I had to love me to give myself grace, mostly bringing myself to peace that I needed. And that's the thing. We all have to find, you know, Gandhi and, you know, all the people, Confucius, everybody says find inner peace, right? In order to be able to find peace everywhere you go, you have to take it with you. You have to take it with you. Find inner peace. You know what I mean? Like, if you can't find it within yourself, if you're searching for it from other people, you will never find complete peace. Because the main piece of the puzzle, what's going on, Shell's light work, the main piece of the puzzle that's missing is your own inner peace. If you yourself aren't filled up with the peace of mind that you know that the things you're doing are because it's the energy that you possess inside of you and you're choosing to give it away, you're choosing to share it. If you don't have an inner peace within you and people are depreciating you even more, you're going to crack. You know? Yes, inner peace has to become a part of you, because if not, we're missing something that we can never give to other people. You know, so we talked about that. Stop overcompensating for people. If people aren't meeting, if people aren't giving you love back, you know, and you trying to play dual roles, again, we've all done it. If we haven't, we're on our way to doing it. And I'm hoping this will prevent it from being as tumultuous. Because we try to play dual roles. We try to fill in the blanks that other people aren't giving us. You know, some people call it daddy issues, mommy issues, you know, abandonment issues. They'll put all these other blankets on it, right? But in reality, what we're doing is we're trying to fill in those roles on our own. So if we stop that, cold turkey, or wean it off, however you want to try to do that, then, you know, we realize people that love us and care about us wouldn't feel bad about us, about them needing to step up if we ask these questions. We also talked about meeting people, you know, and like I say, it's hard. It's not an easy thing. Let me not sit here and say like to quit cold turkey in anything is easy. But we talked about earlier how people become addicted to your energy, addicted to your time, and you have to be able to get them off of you, to be some sort of rehab to get them off of you being a succubus of your energy. You know, again, it's not always easy. It's not always easy to quit cold turkey, you know? But people who care and value will notice the shift in your energy, and they either going to step up to the plate and fill in those blanks, or they're going to ask you to talk about it. Let's talk about it. What's going on with us? And those who don't, they tell you exactly who they are. So once you stop doing everything for people, you will realize exactly who's who and what they're doing in your life. And then once you've got to that point, then you can make people or suggest people or, you know, guide people into meeting you where they meet them. You know, meet you in the middle. Meet me halfway. You know, because this is huge. Never lower your standards. We talked about not lowering your standards to keep people in your life. We see it done time after time. What's going on, Mrs. Contreras? We've seen it done time after time where people allow people to abuse them in any way. And they'll lower their standards on things that they like and want in their life just to keep this person in their life. Never lower your standards to keep people in your life. If it's all one-sided, like I said earlier, it's not a relationship, it's a situationship. It is a situation. It is not a relation. You are not relating to each other. So don't do that. Don't depreciate who you are just to build somebody else up to try to be with you on your level. No, I'm not saying everybody's going to be on the same level, but they drive up got to be the same as it's got to meet your grounding. It's like a battery. Like I said before, it's like a battery. You got to have the ground wire and you got to have the hot wire. And if you don't have them on the right ones, if y'all not equally matched on y'all wirings, if y'all wires are crossed, it's going to be an explosion. Something is going to happen that is not positive. So you have to make sure that people are meeting you where you meet them. The reciprocity in these relationships. And in that, you got to stand firm on what you need. Don't look at it as you pushing people away by telling them what you need from them in this relationship. You're not pushing people away by setting boundaries. I said before, you're simply creating a space By telling them what you need and standing firm on what you need, you are creating a space for people to respect you. You are creating a space for people to honor you. That's what you're doing. And don't feel bad about that. You should not feel bad about that. Because that leads into the next thing. You are protecting your peace by making sure that they are meeting you where you need to be met. Would you say you want to contribute something? Anybody want my Cash App is 360 the poet, $. Kim, I appreciate that. I love being able to anybody want to be a contributor or be a sponsor for the show, hit us up at hot7025fm.com. You know what I mean? And to get you exactly what you need. I appreciate you, Kim, for saying that on here. The thing about it is, when you're protecting your peace, you're telling yourself that you don't have anything else in that empty cup to pour out of, and you want to make sure you always got a reservoir. That reservoir is your peace of mind, and it always has to go with you. Inner peace has to come with you if you're trying to find peace. Walking away isn't being harsh. It's choosing yourself. Don't let anybody make you feel guilty about prioritizing your well-being. So to sum it up, Mr. or Miss doing the most, we're going to stop overcompensating. We're going to meet people where they meet you. And if that's not enough, be okay with walking away. Stand firm. Stand firm on your needs, because what your feelings are valid. Your feelings are valid, and you're worthy of reciprocity. Protecting your peace is never selfish. It's essential. Protecting your peace is never selfish. It's essential. And I know it's hard to shift in these dynamics, right? I'm well aware of that, especially if you've been playing this role for a while. If you've been doing this for quite some time, it's like smoking cigarettes. It's hard to quit smoking cigarettes if you've been smoking them for a long time, but you can stop. But trust me, once you start standing up for yourself, the right people will adjust and the wrong people will fall off the map. And either way, you win, because you'll either be building and strengthening relationships or getting rid of ones that mean you no good and no longer serve you. Exactly. Our circle is smaller as we get older. Would you say, Shell's light work? I think we overcompensate at times to avoid facing ourselves and our inner work. And that's it. That's it, y'all. So don't be afraid to face your inner self, y'all. And again, that's all we got for today's episode. So if y'all ever have a question, if you ever have a comment, if you ever got a concern, if you got my phone number, text me. If you got my other emails, send me those. But if you need to send it straight to Holla at the Homie, send it to that. HollaAtTheHomie@gmail.com. That's HollaAttheHomie@gmail.com, y'all. So, and until next time, y'all, make sure that you protect your peace, stand on your worth, and watch how everything changes. Until I speak and breathe on y'all again, I'm been 360 the Poet. Take care of yourselves and each other. I'ma holla at y'all in a minute.